Get him.
Oh, we folded that ball. Look at all this
Welcome to another episode of the Pintails Podcast, brought to you by Onyx. Please sponsor.
Yeah, baby.
There we go,
baby.
dude. There we go. We're on.
Yeah, welcome to episode 2 of the Pintails Podcast. How you feeling?
Welcome to episode 2 of the Pintails Podcast. Dude, you know how I'm feeling? I'm feeling excited because
Yeah.
I was reviewing the YouTube numbers from this week, which, by the way, as of today, that is not the only place that we are on. But, dude, we had like 80 viewers of the podcast this whole last week. So that's
dude, we're
kind of
big
cool.
time.
Yeah.
We're the biggest. There's never been a larger podcast.
I
We are
need
the
you
best.
guys to seriously start sharing this thing, because as soon as this thing makes $1, I'm quitting my job and I'm just going to dedicate my life to this full time every single day. I'm not even going to do the weird voice today. No Duck Hunter voice today. How about them apples?
No Doug Hunter voice. Fantastic. Dude, who would have thought we would have actually done a... First one, obviously, we're only at 80 views, but in our mind, that's huge. Second, we're getting a lot of great feedback. I know we're not getting a whole lot of comments, but I'm getting phone calls from family, friends, everybody just telling me that it was hilarious. We did a great job. We sound natural on this. Can't even tell we're recording it straight from our phones.
Dude, like if people knew how we were recording this, like with our equipment, dude, let's just walk them through that, dude. How do we record these things?
Yeah, so if you have an iPhone, you probably don't know this, but there is a button on the top that you can literally just record the call, and about every 15 minutes it'll make a weird little noise, and it just keeps rolling. So it saves it to your notes, and from there you edit.
That's it.
Long
That's
story
all.
short, we don't have a studio yet, so we'll get there.
Well, you know, we'll have a studio and it'll be a hangout spot for everybody. So it'll be the Community Pintails Podcast studio, I guess. But let's
That's
jump right into
It's
this
the safe
week's
space.
episode, buddy. Do you want to tell our viewers what we're going to be listening or talking about today?
Yeah, ultimately, we recognize that we have way more shit than we actually use, right?
Right.
So we've noticed there's the trend of duck hunters, deer hunters, fishermen, everybody, right? That when the newest, latest, and greatest thing comes out, we got to buy it, because, like, how are we going to shoot more ducks if we don't? And that mentality is why the markets are blowing up, and Sitka can sell for $1,500, and we continue to buy Mojos that freeze up in cold temperatures, even though they're meant for cold temperature waters.
My God, don't remind me about that, dude. Having to get in the water every 15 minutes.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we are buying a whole bunch of gear. And today we kind of want to talk about, like, what's too much gear to haul in and out / buy, right? Am I kind of on topic on that one?
That's right. Today's episode is the equipment overkill. So we're going to be talking about all the things that you need, all the things that you don't need, and all the things that we don't need, but you might need, because your setup is different than ours, and that's going to be the case with just about everybody that you talk to. It really comes down to just preference. It comes down to what you're running, where you're hunting, how you're hunting. You know, all of those scenarios change. The ducks will fly and act and talk to different no matter where you are, and so your gear needs to change also. And that's kind of what we're going to focus today about.
Unless you're wearing Sitka, and then the ducks just fly straight to you and kill themselves.
If you're wearing Sitka, it is impossible for you to miss, because those ducks fly right into your shotgun and pull the trigger for you. That's what they do.
That's it.
I've witnessed it. And then there's going to be a segment on here about camouflage. Disregard if you were Sitka, or about brushing up your blind. Disregard if you were Sitka. All of that. As a matter of fact, disregard if you're hunting with other people that aren't wearing Sitka, and you got them covered. Believe me, trust us.
You got them covered.
That's right. You got them covered.
Yeah. All right. So we've got. So we've obviously got a bunch of shit in the garage, right?
Yeah.
Everything from multiple pairs of waders to different types of decoys, different species of decoys, to different calls. The $200 call cut downs that get made strictly in Arkansas with the rarest of the rare wood, and the plastic triple thread made by Duck Commander, like $20. It's just, there's such a wide variety of gear that you start with, you finish with, you're constantly getting. We just really want to dive into what fits your stroke for the different boat.
Right.
Like we just want to make sure that everybody realizes like you can have a lot of stuff, you can have a little stuff, but at the end of the day, are you killing birds?
Let's talk about that for a little bit. I'd like to start with decoys just because I learned a lot about decoys this season that I didn't know before. And one of the big things is like you guys know, Cuddy hunts up in Dallas, I hunt down in Rockport, and those two birds, those decoy spreads look very different. And as far
For
as
sure.
species go, I know my very first hunt that I went out in Rockport by myself, yeah, I got some birds to decoy. They're a little goofy at the beginning because they still are very subject to decoying and stuff like that. They haven't been shot at as much, but I was running all greenheads, like all mallard decoys, and
Right.
I was later
Which
told,
doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right?
right, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but I was later told that that's the complete that's the worst species that you can use for duck hunting saltwater down there. I guess, but because of that, I switched over to I'm running pintails, widgeon, I'm running spoonbills, I'm running blue wing teal, and I'll run like all the hens, like I'll run mallard hens and stuff like that because they can't tell, they look like everything else. But this next year, I want to also get some black duck decoys, just completely black spray painted, and those are cool because you can use them anywhere. But that's very different to what you use, Cuddy. I mean, tell them what you use.
Well, hold on. Before we get into mine, talk about the amount of decoys you have, right? So
Oh yeah.
first year duck hunting, how many dozen decoys do you think you have right now?
Dude, I barely had a dozen decoys. I had six decoys in my spread the very first like setup that I thought I could do, and I panicked and I went and bought like another 1 dozen because that's all I could afford. This season, like I said, was my first one, so I had to buy a whole bunch of different equipment. I mean, not just decoys, not just calls, not just, but I mean waders and jackets and everything that I needed for the boat and everything. Like I my budget was very thin, and so I started off with 18 decoys at the beginning, and that's all I had. That's all I took, and I still kind of made it happen. I got a full limit on 18 decoys down on the coast, so it can be
And
done.
what are you sitting at now?
And now I'm running 4 dozen, and I'm gonna buy another 2 dozen for this year, for this next upcoming season.
Right. So luckily you hunt out of a Gino, so you're able to stack the front of your boat or the front of the canoe and push everything out there. But you're talking 6 dozen decoys for something like me. Like 99% of my hunting is walking. I
Right.
would say I would say 90% of my hunting is walking. 10% I get on the boat with a buddy. But like for me, I'm rocking a dozen and a half decoys, and
Yeah.
I am specifically throwing out mallards and gadwall and some widgeon here and there, depending on how the season's looking.
Yeah.
Um, but I've probably got 5 dozen decoys, and I probably only run a fifth of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and this is going
Like,
to be very different than I know the airboat guides down there in Rockport and stuff. I know some of those guys would run like 8 or 9 decoy or a dozen decoys. I mean, they run a
yeah,
ton of decoys, and most of the people that I talked to that were hunting saltwater, they were telling me big water, big spreads, and so they were trying to get,
for sure.
they were trying to run a very very large spread, but these guys are also running 4 mans, 5 mans, maybe 6 mans, because they're guides and stuff like that. So yeah, you need a whole lot of birds to come into your spread. So I don't know, but whereas me, I'm just by myself, so if 6 ducks came in all day and I didn't suck that day, I'm good, I'm golden. um
Yep.
Even 2 3 sets of pairs, I'm good to go if I did everything right. But yeah, dude, it's very different. And so in my hunting situation, yeah, so I'm hunting out of a canoe, so everything that I could take with me was limited to that canoe. My clothes that I wore, my gear that I took, what I held my gear in, that kind of thing was limited to a canoe, which it still did very good. I could still take me, one buddy, and all the gear that we could need, which, like I said, was 4 or 5 dozen. Because buddy Shane, shout out Shane, uh, let me um let me borrow a dozen decoys from him, and so actually 2 dozen decoys from him. So I borrowed some of his different species. And I could fit all my stuff in the canoe, run out to the blind, which is not that far from our boat ramp, set up, and then me and a buddy could hunt that. But for you, it's very different because everything that you're carrying in is on your back, so you have to be very, very selective of what you take, I guess.
Right. No, for sure, man. And like one of the hardest things for me when I started off was I would buy a lot of the shit that I was like, oh, this looks cool, right? But I was thinking fashion over function, I guess.
Right, right.
And the more into it I got, the more I was doing it, I realized like for my bag, for example, I have like the old school roll top satchel, I guess you can call it, for a blind bag.
Yeah.
And
The is it the
it's
dive bomb
just,
one?
yeah, I got the dive bomb. Shit, I don't even know the name of it, but if you, it looks like a laptop holder ultimately.
Right, right.
But
The
the
satchel.
bag is great, right? It's a dry bag, and I can satchel it off to one side, throw my decoys over my other shoulder, and my gun over that shoulder as well to hold my decoys in place so they're not slipping off my shoulder. And like that's my ideal carry-in setup. Now, don't get me wrong. When I'm not carrying shit in, I'll load everything up and be like, "All right, we're on the boat. We can do this. We just keep rocking and rolling. Just keep loading and loading and loading." Um, but then I have to get smart with it and be like, "All right, yeah, Ryan, you've got 5 dozen decoys. Do you need 5 dozen today? We're hunting small water, or hey, we're hunting the big lake today. Let's go ahead and bring maybe 3 dozen. Your buddy might have 2 dozen. Like it's all about sharing and communicating with the people you're hunting with too, to make sure they have the same plan that you, so you don't show up with 10 dozen decoys to hunt an acre pond. You
Right,
know,
right, right.
like you
And
don't you don't want to do overkill.
no, you definitely don't want to do overkill. And I've kind of been there before too. So, and I'll tell you, here's another thing, here's another thing to think about depending on where you're hunting, because I ran into this earlier the year. One of the first, actually, my very first hunt that I went out to Rockport by myself, I ended up in a mud flat back in a marsh up in St. Charles Bay. And I didn't know any better. I've never been there before. It's my first time even there. And I didn't know where I was or anything. It's dark and we've got 40-mile-an-hour gale force winds just blowing me everywhere. And I thought, oh, I'll be fine. This thing should, the wind will just roll in around 9. I'll be good. Or maybe I'm even done by then. I don't know. Because the only experience I have is as a dove hunter, right? And so I get out there and I throw out my 18 decoys. Thank God I didn't have, a whole bunch. Because when it got time to leave, oh my God, dude, the tide rolled out. That canoe was sitting down on the mud. I was trying to push it out of there and I was sinking to my hips in mud and stuff. And now I've got 18 decoys to get. And that wasn't very
Yep.
different than the day that we went hunting up in Central Texas, up by Taylor, Texas, with Buddy Matt and Buddy Connor. Shout out y'all two. We showed up to their family's property and we're hunting a cow pond. And we throw out 6 dozen decoys. Well, now guess who's got to go get them? And that sucks too. And so it's
Yep.
one of those times where you're like, do you really need all of these decoys? And I have noticed the difference between big decoys and small decoys. I mean, it really just depends on what they're doing that day. Because when we were up in Dallas, we were hunting a pretty big lake. Me and you were when we walked in, and we ran into that
Yep.
one guy who had 6 decoys in the water, and he had another 2 dozen sitting in his jet sled, and he goes, "They like small decoy spreads today." Okay. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what all three of us hunted, and I mean we did decent. They came in. They weren't flying too thick that day, but they still came in. So
Yep.
it
And
it
don't
just
get me started. Don't get me guessing on what it should look like. I don't know if it should be a V, a U, a splatter of ducks. Spread them out, bundle them tight. Honestly, I think it just depends on how quiet and still you can stay in that blind when the ducks are working.
I don't know.
You know?
I mean, if we're talking about formations, man, I started with the perfect U horseshoe thing at the beginning of the season. And because I was thin, it looked really weird and unnatural to me. And I was like, well, maybe the ducks like it. But towards the end of the season, I just started opting for throwing them out in a blob and in the general direction that the wind is coming from, just kind of leave a little hole in your blob, or even just do like a 2 pod system where there's like one pot on the left, one pot on the right, and then one single decoy in the middle. I decoyed pintails with that on a day that nothing else was decoying. I
Yep.
used the blob. I had that set up, irregardless of wind direction. I decoyed pintails. I decoyed redheads that day
Time out.
also. What's up?
Did you just say irregardless?
Dude, I will stand by that word till the day that I die. Irregardless is a word, and I don't care who says it's not. Irregardless of what you
Yeah.
feel, I feel like it is a word.
I guess our next sponsorship, we would like Rosetta Stone, but for English for this guy. So any
Or
help we get,
Webster's.
shout out Rosetta Stone.
Shout out Rosetta Stone. Please give me some English.
Yeah.
English is not my first language, and I will say that till the day I die.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so ultimately, just to recap, how many decoys you're taking with you all is going to depend, or what gear that you're taking with you is all going to depend on where you're hunting, how you're hunting, and who you're going with. I mean, that all changes. But
For
the
sure.
the most important thing to, I guess, that I would say is don't worry too much about it, is like the stuff that you are going to take good quality stuff that's going to last you a while. Because like me, I'm in saltwater, all my stuff gets exposed to corrosion, and so like everything has to be stainless steel, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you get what you pay for, and there are some things that are just cheap things that don't work all that good, or aren't going to last all that good. I'll give you another good
All right. Well,
example. Or go ahead.
hold on before you start diving into another good example. Let's talk about all the random shit, like just spitball, right? We'll go one for one. What's the most useless duck hunting shit you've bought to be like, I need this because next time I hunt, this is gonna help me? I'll start, dude. My
Okay.
first one, gloves. One, I was like, I need gloves. And I was thinking, like, yeah, it gets cold, whatever. Yeah, well, you also need neoprene gloves because when your gloves freeze, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot do anything with that frozen glove, and your hand is probably colder than it already was.
Right.
But then you throw neoprene gloves on, and then you're messing around inside of the trigger guard, and it's all tight. It's just, to me, it's never really worked. So gloves, to me, as much as I need them sometimes, like a hand warmer is probably better.
Yeah, I could agree
What's
with that.
yours?
I could agree with that, except having a set of decoy gloves in your bag is definitely a good idea for at the beginning or after, just to try to, because when that water's cold, man, and it's frozen like that last day, those things really saved my butt. But yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
Hand warmers definitely over gloves all day, every day. Um,
Oh, I've got a better idea.
which one?
This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna list off an item,
Mm-hmm.
must or a want.
Oh, that's a
All
good
right.
one.
So
Okay, okay.
gloves. So let's go gloves as a want, right? You
Gloves
want
is a
them when you're
want.
putting decoys in and out.
Yeah.
Okay. Duck call.
That's definitely a must. And when it comes to expensive or cheap, dude, I'm running a Duck Commander Shadow. I think it's a double read or a single read. I know it's not a triple read. The little black one. I'm running. That's what I call. That's my favorite call that I have. I have that, and then I have a Northern Flight that my sister-in-law gave me, and then a whistle that my sister-in-law gave me also. The whistle is a must for damn
Whistle's a
sure.
must.
Yeah, whistles are
Whistle is
a must.
100% a must.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
speaking
People
of,
want if you.
if you
What's
could
up?
take only one call between a whistle and I don't care which
Whistle.
quacker, which one are you
Whistle.
taking?
Whistle. All
That's
day.
it. That's it. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, look, early flight teal,
That's it.
right? Just whistle them in. You can hit widgeon, you can hit pintail, you can hit mallard drakes. Like, shit, I can just whistle at a baddie if a pretty duck flies by. You never
That's
know.
right, dude.
You know,
If it
hit
flies,
'em with that.
if it flies, it dies, dude.
Yeah. You know,
So duck calls
no.
are a must for sure. How about a duck
Yeah.
lanyard?
Oh, you talking about like a tote, or are you talking about like a duck call lanyard?
Like a duck call lanyard, like the ones around your neck.
I think that's gonna be a must, man.
I think it's
Like,
a. I think if you're working limited budget, leave it to the very end. They are very cheap, but I went about 80% of the season without one this year because I just didn't buy one. And I just put it in my pocket. But man, is it annoying to get it in and out. There's been a few times. So you got your
yeah.
money,
I
just
mean,
get you one.
as a walk-in hunter too, like just having that around my neck already, not having a dick in my bag, because my gun's already on a sling. Like if I walk into the spot and I see ducks, I can stop, drop all my stuff, start hitting a couple of calls, and then shoot the duck. Like,
Oh yeah.
has it happened? Yes. Does it happen all the time? No. But
Yeah.
duck call lanyard for sure is a must for me.
What about
Um,
a pulsator in your decoy spread?
ooh, dude, I'll take motion on the water over flapper birds all day long.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and I'm not gonna say it's a must because I'm gonna counter it with a jerk rig.
Okay.
Because I think a jerk rig is just old trusty. You know, batteries aren't gonna die. It's always gonna be there to give you the motion you need, right?
It's small.
A
It's light.
pulsator, yeah, it's a kind of a pain in the ass to set up sometimes, but that pulsator is nice, man. You turn it on and it wants to work right. It's gonna give you a constant splash. You got movement of a duck. I mean, it's exactly what your jerk rig's supposed to do, just automated. So I'm gonna say motion on the water a must.
Yeah.
Mojos, not a must.
Not
Like
a
Flappy
must.
Birds,
Definitely a
absolutely
want.
not, dude. Dude, it's really not even a want for me anymore. I might throw a spinner in my spread once a year, right? And everybody tells you they're already educated. They've already made their way all the way down from Canada to see your Flappy Bird. But I just don't think it does much for ducks. I think ducks see ducks swimming on the water, and that's what gets them to come down. Why do they want to see another duck flying away? It's not like dove where like you just need a circle of them flying around nonstop.
Yeah.
It's for me, I want them to concentrate on the water, and that's when they need to land.
I feel like
But
I feel I feel this still even after this season and all the conversations that we've had about it. But I feel like at the end of the day, I want a spinner. I really, really do. And don't get me wrong, Mojo puts out a hell of a spinner with their little Bluetooth remote controls and everything. That's super, super handy. I want a spinner, but you don't need a spinner every single time. Sometimes it scares birds off. I mean, I've seen it happen.
yeah,
And you got to go there and turn it off or do something with it. And so the uncertainty of it, definitely at the beginning for me, it wasn't a priority. It was if I get to that level, I'll buy one and I'll have it in my bag. But ultimately, it's just one more thing to lug around. And the worst thing that you can possibly do, because I've done it before, is carry all this stuff to your duck spread, to your duck blind, and then not use it. Then it just sits there, and then you have to carry it back to the truck, and you're like, oh, why did I even bring this? So,
right. Yeah, that's for me. For me, it's an add-on. Like I'm not gonna ever prioritize my spinner. If we have it out there early season, sure. I would say teal season for sure.
yeah.
Because you can throw a dove flapper out there and it'll hammer them. You know.
Yep. Yep. We've seen it.
Yep. But for me, that's not a must, right?
What's another
What
one? What's another good one?
about face paint?
Oh. Okay, the old timers will tell you that. I mean, the old timers will tell you that you don't need it. I, I think, I think it's a must, dude. I mean, I don't know, dude.
I
That's
mean,
a hard one.
this last time of the season, did you paint your face?
No, I didn't, and I didn't paint my face a single time this season. But
Nope.
I also flared a lot of birds. I just didn't. I never knew if it was my spread, if it was me not hiding good enough, if it was me fidgeting, or if they just saw my face. So I don't know. I mean, don't worry. Don't concern yourself about it. Don't make a trip back to the truck if you left it at the truck. But if you have it, you have it.
Right. No, for me, I mean, as you know, I don't use paint. I just burn a cork and rub the cork on my face.
Yep.
But I mean, I've got a white face, dude. If the sun hits it on a real sunny day, like I do stand out.
Yeah.
And I do wear a hat and I have a beard, so like I really just have to put a little X on my cheeks and nose, and I would like to say it reflects the light just like it would for a baseball player or football player putting the black strips underneath. It takes a little bit of that glare off your cheeks, so you're not shining.
Yeah, carry
same
that cork
time,
with
though,
you. Carry a lighter with you. It's light. It's something you can easily stow in your duck bag, and if you need it, it's right there. You can use it.
Yep. I will say this though, definitely a want, not a must. The ducks need you to stay still.
100%.
That's it. Keep your face down. Listen for them to hit the water. Because honestly, if you're really calling and you're trying to decoy ducks, like you should take pride in watching them land. You don't have to shoot them before they land. But either way, you got one guy as your watcher, and he better be head down too, but his eyeballs looking up, and that's about it.
That's my biggest
Everybody else
struggle,
stay
dude.
chill.
Yeah, that's my biggest
Yeah,
struggle. I like looking
you
at
want to
them
watch them.
ducks. Yeah, I do, man. I think it's so cool how they come in and do their thing and circle and stuff. And I want to know when to call, when not to call. If they're flying away from me, I call them. If they're coming towards me, I shut up and watch, or just shut up and listen.
Yep. I mean, it's kind of like going deer hunting for the first time. You are constantly like looking around, making sharp movements, like, where's the deer? Where's the deer? But over time, you just learn that patience is a virtue, and that deer is going to come to the dinner bell when it rings, and the ducks are going to hit the hole. If your guide or whoever your caller is really like working them, and you just got to trust in them that they're going to do what they need to do.
I'll tell you what's a definite want in my duck bag is freaking dude wipes, dude. Wipies, dude wipes of any kind. Oh my god.
That that's a want. That
That-
is a must
no,
for me.
that is a must. That is a
That's
must
a must.
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I am Mr. Notorious for having to use the restroom out in the woods.
That's right.
And there's no better friend of mine than Mr. Dude Wipe himself.
Mr.
Like,
the wipe of dudes.
dude, I am telling you right now, whether it's duck, dove, deer, fishing, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I'm excited, I get all worked up. I don't know if it's because I'm nervous, like playing hide and seek when you got to go piss, like all that kind of mentality.
Oh,
Whatever
yeah.
it is, thank you, Lord, for wet wipe dude wipes. Like,
That's right.
Best thing in the world.
That's right.
That is a must for me. And they stay in my bag, and I check them at the beginning of the season to make sure they didn't dry out. That's how
Dude.
dedicated. That's more important to me than making sure I have my freaking headlamp in the truck.
100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah.
I still remember the
Dude.
time you gave me a call, dude, and you're like, dude, I'm out here dove hunting, and I just dropped a turd that looks exactly like a dove. You
Dude,
sent
true
me a
story.
picture of it.
True story. I shit a dove.
You
It was
shit a
pretty
dove,
awesome.
bro.
I did. I don't know if that was healthy or not, but it worked.
Hey, screw it, man. It worked out. It worked out.
Yeah. Dude, I'm going to tell you my number one tool, like gadget that I actually forget more than anything is my headlamp.
Mine too.
Want or a must.
That is a must, dude. That is a must because you got to be able to see, dude. When I'm out on the marsh and stuff, I mean, yeah, you can see the water and everything like that, but I'd say I don't know.
It's a must.
It's a must. Yeah,
It's a
no, it's a
must.
must. It's a must.
I forget it. Don't get me wrong. I forget it and I can't find it. And I pull my phone out and I'm using my flashlight on my phone. And I am terrified the whole time I'm putting decoys out that I'm going to drop my phone in the water. And that sucker is gone. And then I have no light. Then what?
Right. Then you have no
You know?
communication. No, I keep one in the canoe's dry box. I keep one in my bag, separate from each other, and those like are residents. And then I keep one on my person that's like my don't forget this, and that's the one that I leave in the truck 80% of the time. And then I remember that I have the other backups. So those are a must for sure.
All right. Bringing your gun bag to the hole?
No.
Or leaving it in the truck?
Depends on your ride there. If I'm walking in, I'm leaving it at the truck. If I'm on the boat, it's going with me because it's going to get splashed, especially on the canoe.
For sure. Yeah, that was kind of an obvious one. That one's hard.
Well, no, because like there's people that like, okay, when we went duck hunting with Buddy Shane, we took his bay boat out in Port Mansfield and we went out to God knows where. I left mine in the truck. I didn't need it. I just kind of like wrapped it on the back, put it on the back seat and just let it hang there. Shot out. I was gone. They took theirs all the way to the duck blind. I wasn't gonna do all that because I have a sling. But yeah, dude, I'd say it just really depends on when you're going. But for the most part, it weighs so little and it helps and protects so much. Just take the damn thing. You'll be fine. Unless you're walking in, then just leave it at the truck. You don't need it.
Yeah, dude, I definitely got an overkill one right here.
Which one?
Ammo.
Oh my god, dude. Shout out Buddy Snow taking 80 he took 80 rounds, dude, when we went duck hunting one afternoon. Shout out Buddy Snow.
That's wild.
I know,
80
dude.
Rounds.
80 rounds,
dude,
bro.
6.
I know. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, well,
what
just in case I miss.
Dude, it's funny though, because in Arkansas, there are places where you can't have more than 6 shells on you.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So, and like where I'm hunting public land, a lot of it, like I can't have BB or I can't have T-shot or whatever. Like it stops at 2s, right? So like I have to be aware of what shells I'm bringing out, what load it has in there. At the same time, though, I probably show up to each hunt with a box of shells.
Yeah.
Now, I hope to God that I have the opportunity to miss that many times and go through a whole box, but really a box will last me 3 hunts, most likely.
This whole season, I
Um,
hunted out of 4 boxes of ammunition. Shout out Migra, shout out Apex. But I
yep.
used 4 boxes of ammo this entire season, and I was good. Now, I will say another must that you must have is a shell bag. You got to have one of those,
Hold on.
especially in saltwater.
I agree. Hold on. We're going to come back to shell bags. What's your go-to shell right now? What are you shooting?
Dude, my favorite shell is the Migra stacked number 2 and number 4.
Yeah.
3-inch shell. Yeah, the white ones.
Dude, it's a great shell, right?
It's amazing.
Like
It's
there's
amazing.
something like Migra, great job creating the stack. I don't know if you created it or if you're just the one that made it famous, but absolutely best shell that I've shot. I mean, Apex is great, heavy metal's great, but God, dude, there's something about that little white shell when it pops out and that duck drops. Everybody knows it was a Migra shell that just folded it with a stack. So
Dude,
good on you, Migra. We appreciate your help.
absolutely. Dude, I popped all that Migra ammunition. I popped my pintail that I got, my stud pintail that I got this year. I popped him like at, oh man, Buddy Cullen said it was something like 80 yards, but I don't think so. I think it was more like 60. But dude, he was up there. I sky blasted the hell out of him. I'm not even gonna lie. They took up and they took off. And
Yeah.
I actually, when I shot him, I 100% thought I missed because of how long it took for him to go down. I shot him and I just kind of like put my gun down and watched, and then I just see him like fold and just start shooting down, and I'm like, no fucking shit. Like I way
Yep.
overlet it. To me, there was no way that I shot him, and I folded his ass. I mean, I just put I put the lead where I thought it should be based off of how high up in the air he was, but that day I was extremely impressed with my ammunition. That was, I mean, shout out them, dude. They made it happen. But my number
Yep.
2, if I'm out of Micro for whatever reason, is Apex. Apex number 4, I think it is what I'm running.
Yep.
But yeah, that's what I'm running as I'll grab either one of those two, but I do like to stick to one ammo for at least that hunt. You know, if I'll switch to Apex, and that's what I'm using. If I use Migra, then that's what I'm using for at least that hunt, because I feel like my leads get off, and I don't like switching ammo too much, to be honest with you.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Once I get comfortable with something, I get comfortable with it. And I
That's it.
stacked up on Migra this year.
That's
And I'm
it.
glad they started carrying it in Shields and Academy. Like it's just easier to find it now, so that's good.
Yeah. My Academy carries Migra and Apex, and they're pretty similar in price. They're very, very
Yeah.
similar in price, so they're decent.
Yep.
You ain't paying
Now you
$50 a
did.
box, which is nice.
Yep. You did talk about a shell bag. I agree. I think whether you have a shell bag or you're dumping them in the bottom of a dry bag like I do, like whatever it is, you got to keep them dry, because no matter how good a round is, they say some are waterproof and the primers are sealed. Cool, whatever, man. I've got some rusted over black cloud that will not fire at all.
Well, you know, and
So
it's also more just to like keep it handy, keep it on you. I would say like my minimal, because I'm very minimalist when I go out there. My minimal setup that I take is my shotgun, obviously my waders and my clothing, my shell bag, my duck lanyard, and a jacket. That's it. Once I'm out of the boat, that's all I have on me. And my little shell bag is that $10 Northern Flight one that they sell at Bass Pro or whatnot. I mean, no thrills, no frills, just a small little dry bag. Throw my shells in there, and I'll just set up on a tree, clip it onto a limb, and I'm using it. But that's really it. A mud stool. Oh, that's another good one.
oh,
That's a good one.
must
Must for sure.
God, that is a must. How did we miss that? Yeah, 100%. Northern Flight mud stool.
That's
I
right.
don't care if you're a banded freak or whatever else you want to throw. I'm telling you right now, the Northern Flight one has the most padding. I have buddies that have the banded one. It has broken multiple times. I'm not trying to knock banded, but I'm telling you, if you're in modern day, everyday Joe hunter, go get the Northern Flight one. It's cheap. It's cushiony and it is sturdy.
And
You
it'll
will,
last.
dude. At some point, you will get so freaking tired of standing. You just want a place to sit.
Yep.
And when you're in 2.5, 3 feet of water, you've got to, dude.
And it
It's a
folds
must,
down. It's
100%.
small. It's like tiny. It's like perfect. If you're on a boat, it doesn't take a lot of, up a lot of space. If you're walking in, it doesn't take up a lot of space. It's perfect. It's the perfect one. They nailed it.
Yep.
Minimalist for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a must. Good
Yeah.
call. All right. What about a sling?
You know what? This year I didn't use my sling as much as I thought I was going to, but that's only because I always had it on me. I used it on one hunt, and that was with you when we had to walk in. But I don't walk in that much. I'm out of my boat. The one thing I will say that I'm gonna get this year is I think High and Dry makes them. I'll have to double check, but it's those little sling loops that you put on the top of your shotgun.
Uh-huh.
That's gonna become a must for me this year. I will be purchasing one for me and probably one for you, but that's gonna be a must that I'm gonna carry. That's if I don't decide to just make one.
You're
But
talking about like the 2-inch little loop that you could hang on like a
yep,
nail or something, right?
yep, dude, because it's
Yeah,
oh my
those
god,
look nice.
the biggest pain in the butt is having to carry my gun the entire freaking time. Like yes, it's always best on me, but there's been so many times where it could just hang on a tree and I could just pick it up and shoot, and it's not in the way, it's not inconvenient. That's gonna become a must this year for me. It's a want, but it's gonna be a must. And they're like cheap,
Dude,
yeah,
I'm gonna
10-20 bucks.
Yeah, they are cheap and they do look really useful, and like really you could hook your sling up to that if you needed to. Like it just
Yeah.
it looked yeah, it definitely should be a must this year. We should definitely get those.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna finish it off with this, man.
Okay.
The topic everybody asks themselves, the Facebook marketplace #1 search thing for duck hunters. Do you or do you not need a boat?
Oh, I was going to wait for that topic for the end as well. I'm glad that you talked about that because this is a huge, huge, huge one, right? Everybody wants
Right.
one. Not everybody can
Everybody wants
afford
one.
one.
Dude, I'm on Facebook Marketplace every night looking at
Oh yeah.
Project, Timber Creek, Havoc, freaking Gator Tail, Pro Drive. Oh my God, dude. It's a never ending search. And I mean, obviously I've been hunting all these years without one. I'm going to have to go with a want.
It's a want, dude. It's a want because look, you've been doing it for years. I bought, so I couldn't afford a boat. Obviously, I have too many boats, but I have different kind of boats. I have ski boats and stuff like that. But I bought a canoe thinking this will be something that I can fly fish out of on in the coast, and I can also duck hunt with down on the coast. And after using it this year, is it doable? 100%. I'm running a 15-foot canoe with a 5 horse on the back, and I'm not paddling. I know plenty of people that kayak and canoe and they paddle to their spots or whatever, and they make it happen. I know lots of people down on the coast that just walk in and they make it happen. They get limits. They shoot birds. It is a pain in the butt to do it. I mean, to walk in with all your stuff, it's so much nicer to have a boat. It's definitely a
Yep.
want, but if you're a duck hunter and you're thinking I really need to get one, whatever, prioritize your gear, prioritize what you're gonna do, leave that for the end. I know it's the tough part, it's the hardest part, but it's definitely a want, man. They make it so, and those boats, Prodigy
Yeah,
makes such nice boats, but you can duck hunt
they do.
just walking in. Don't be scared to try it. Don't be scared to see what it is. And I'll tell you one thing else. Just because you got a boat doesn't mean it's going to get any easier, because once you get to the spot, you're
Nope.
walking around doing what you got to do anyways, and then you got to go hide it and do all the other stuff. So it's going to be work no matter what, irregardless. It's there will be work. So don't,
Jesus Christ.
yeah,
Yeah,
but no, it's definitely a want, and it's a big want. It's a huge one. If you can find one, get one. If you can't, don't worry about it. The important thing is go out there and shoot some ducks. Be outside and be present.
that's right. Now, if y'all think of anything that we didn't talk about, another knickknacks that you use day to day that you think make hunting easier, other knickknacks that you're bringing out that make it harder, right? You're like, God, why did I carry this time? Comment it down below. Let us know what you're walking out with to make your hunts better, to make your hunts easier, to make your hunts warmer, whatever it is, right? Put it down at the bottom. and we will 100% look into it, see if we like it, talk about it, maybe even do a whole episode on something we didn't know about.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we love the
This
feedback, so definitely comment below.
this topic will definitely come back again before the season, or maybe a few times before then. I don't know. But on that note, we are now, as of last week, we were just on YouTube. I created some pages or whatever over the week. We are now officially on Spotify and YouTube for listening to this podcast. So find this podcast
Yep.
wherever you find
Check
yours.
us out.
Yeah, check us out. I'm working on the Apple one. Maybe that'll be a next week thing. I just have to link that RSS link. But anyways, we have a Facebook community group in our link tree. We have our Instagram in our link tree, and we have our Gmail. So if you guys need to communicate with us, send us some stuff. Go ahead and do it that way. But comment on YouTube. Comment on Instagram. Comment on Spotify. What are some things that we left out that you guys think are wants versus needs? What are some things that you guys would like our opinion on? I promise you it won't be the best opinion, but we'll do our
Yeah,
best.
we're gonna do our best. We'll
We're
do our
gonna do our
best.
best. So find us on
Yeah.
all of those. Hit us up and just keep passing on this
Like
great
and
sport of duck hunting.
subscribe.
Oh yeah,
Like
like
and
and
subscribe.
subscribe.
Everything. That's how we survive on this thing.
I'm
So like and
jobless.
subscribe, hit the bell, hit everything.
Do it all. Do it all. Do it all for the
Yeah.
boys. It costs
Yeah.
$0 to support us, boys. Do it for the boys.
That's right. Yeah, no Patreon or nothing for that yet. One time for the boys.
That's right.
But
One
thanks
time for the
again.
one time.
Yeah.
All
Thanks
right,
again for
boys.
tuning in for our second episode. We
I'll talk to
appreciate
y'all
it.
later, boys. Y'all be good.
Bye.